All right, guys, today we're going to go ahead and react to this. Mike Florio on Pat McAfee show talking about Joe Burrow's contract. Now, I have lost a lot of respect over the years for Mike Florio.
What do you think, Mike?
Didn't
spitballing, like, you know, do you think he's a top 20 receiver, right? I mean, where is he, you think, like, roughly? It's a tough one.
I think he's top 20. I think it's hard to properly assess him because Jamar Chase is on his team.
Sure.
I found it very surprising that Pat McAfee had him on. I guess this whole ESPN thing is really hitting hard, huh?
I would also like a little bit of faith. Huh?
Just a little.
Huh?
Think about it.
Huh?
But nonetheless, though, he has an interesting concept about Joe Burrow's contract. And then we're going to look at it over here and kind of put everything he says into black and white to kind of get the general layout. Let's listen up.
I've had this theory, and maybe it's crackpot, but I don't care. It's never stopped me before.
Top 5 conspiracy theorists in the NFL. Noted.
Yep.
Well, that's right. One of these guys is going to get a deal that pays him a percentage of the salary cap. And that's fair. That's the way to do it. We talk about leaving enough money aside for the rest of the team. Okay, let's not talk dollars. Let's talk 16%. I get 16 cents of every dollar, whatever the cap is. Then I don't have to worry about 3 years from now. My deal's obsolete. You know, Patrick Mahomes was the highest paid player in the NFL by $10 million a year just 3 years ago. Now he's $7 million a year behind Lamar Jackson. If you're tied into a percentage of the cap, that doesn't happen. And if anybody's going to do it, it's going to be Joe Burrow. And if any owner's going to do it, it's going to be Mike Brown, who's been that contrarian that will do the thing that the league doesn't want teams to do. And the league doesn't want teams to do this. So I think it's lining up perfectly for Burrow to get a percentage of the cap. And that's the best way to solve this problem. Do a long-term deal, and everyone wins.
We just had Duke on. Yeah. Literally. Just.
All right, so let's talk about what he just said and put what he said in black and white. First off, what he just said is against the NFL collective bargaining agreement. So you can't do that. Unless the NFL changes their policy and changes their ways, you're not going to be able to do what he just said in any way possible. I mean, what he just said on paper makes sense. I know Zim on Twitter talked about this before, and obviously Florio, it's not the first time, by the way, that Florio has brought this up. He brings this up on his show all the time. I don't watch it, but I've seen clips of it.
I don't want to do cap percentage. The moment that river is crossed, you're going to pull other guys across it with you.
Definitely.
What if Jamar Chase says, I like that too. I'll take 8.375%. It ain't going this way. It's going this way, up and up. And there would be ways to manage the cap charge, but the bottom line is your pay each year is determined by your set percentage of the cap as your minimum. You can have a set number or a cap percentage, whichever is greater.
Now, he does mention in his show, that he doesn't mention here, but it is good context. He says that there should be a bare minimum you have in your contract you make every single year. So, for example, let's look at the, Lamar Jackson's contract, right? 22, 33, 43 and a half, 74 and a half, and 74 and a half. You could say the bare minimum is 43 million, or bare minimum is 50 million. And if you make above that, the salary cap is above that number because 16.5%, then 16%, then you actually get the salary cap. But if it's below that number, then you get the money that is bare minimum in your contract. So here's how the salary cap would work. And again, keep in mind, we are projecting the salary cap based on, kind of logical numbers, but we don't know for sure. We only know up to 2024 salary cap. We don't know 2025 or beyond, so it's kind of just projecting it based on that. So this year he would get paid $36 million. Next year, 40.9, 45, 49, 52, 56, 60, 65, 70, and 75. And that would be a 10-year contract, $551,993,000. No signing bonus, obviously, and fully guaranteed. Again, keep in mind that he would get a bare minimum every single year, and this would also, the salary cap would give him that money. Now, just taking a look at some other things we have here, the salary cap expert, we talked this back in February about this, but there was a salary cap expert who created a 10-year contract for Joe Burrow, and how they had the whole thing set up was as followed. It was a 10-year contract, $448 million, signing bonus is $60 million, fully guaranteed is $142, virtually guaranteed is $240. It was 18, 21, 32, 52, 57, 57, 48, 48, 56, 56. So obviously, in every way possible, better to go with the salary cap option and go with his 10-year contract right here. Now, taking a look at Lamar Jackson's contract, he did get a 5-year contract with 2 voidable years. $260 million with 72.5 signing bonus, fully guaranteed $135, virtually guaranteed $185. Jalen Hurts, he got his contract. Technically, his contract does not start until year 2 because they put him on his last year of his rookie contract and then started his contract. So it's a 5-year contract with a total of 4 $80 million voidable years. 5 years to almost $260 million. Signing bonus $23.294 million. Fully guaranteed $110. Virtually guaranteed $179. So those are the contracts that just got signed. That's the salary cap, expert who created that contract there. Let's talk about this. Is this logical? First off, let's put the elephant in the room aside. The whole NFL would not agree because of the bargaining agreement. And let's just look at this as a perspective of the NFL is okay with it. I'm not too against this concept or idea. Again, like Florio said, and it is true, that it would avoid in the future, your contract is irrelevant. Patrick Mahomes recently came out and said he wants legacy over money. He said he'd rather take less money if he can have a better legacy. And I kind of feel like Joe's in that same spot right now when it comes to he just wants to win Super Bowls. He wants to get generational wealth, and he will get generational wealth no matter what. But at the end of the day, he just wants to win Super Bowls and bring, the trophies to the Queen City here. So, if all things being considered, it's not that illogical of an idea to go with. Now, I think, personally speaking, again, I'm going to say this right now, it becomes a touchy subject when you're talking about salary cap and percentage of salary caps. Logically, it's going to be just a regular contract like a Lamar Jackson or Jalen Hurts. My guess is it will probably be, I was kind of leaning toward a 10-year contract, but as I'm hearing more and more and experts give their opinions, I think it's going to be a 5-year contract, probably in the ballpark range of $245 million, and it's probably going to be a ballpark range of like $45-50 million signing bonus. That's kind of how I'm feeling right now. Now, he does also mention one other thing I do want to mention here. He talks about how Mike Brown is the owner to do this. Mike Brown is the guy to take charge and change up the system and go with a salary cap based contract. First off, Mike Brown, love the guy, absolutely amazing owner, but he doesn't really have that much power anymore. It really goes down to his daughter, Katie Blackburn, and of course Duke Tobin and the staff. They kind of all come together and make decisions, while Mike Brown doesn't really have as much say as he used to. And I think honestly it's better that way, because I hate when the owner has all the control and the owner can pretty much Jerry Jones his way into anything he wants. I feel like it's better to have a group of people who might be below the owner who all come together and give their opinions in a very logical and meaningful way. So I very much, praise Mike Brown for saying that exact, thing. Being that exact way, because I just feel like it's better overall for the team. Nonetheless, though, I just don't think it's going to happen. I don't think this would happen. I don't think the NFL would approve this. The NFL, based on, how they work, they don't want this type of stuff to happen. They want it to be a regular contract and kind of go one from there. Again, the reason why is because now if you start this trend, right, it's like pushing a little snowball down a hill, and eventually it's going to become a huge snowball, and every single quarterback's going to want this. Every single team player is going to want this, and it's going to get to a point where everyone's taking the salary cap instead of taking their contracts, and it's going to become a mess. So I don't think it's going to happen. Like I said before, I understand the perspective. I know Zim on Twitter posted about this. Zim Hude. And obviously Florio. This is not the first time, again, like I said before, he's talked about this many times. So it's interesting. It's an interesting concept and idea, and I gotta give him credit for it being, very creative. But I don't think it's gonna happen. Also, just want to say this right now, just a random side note here. McAfee must really be hurting for the ESPN, man. Because I'm not going to trash too much on Florio here, but you brought Florio on as your analyst. I mean, come on, man. You might want to choose a different person as your analyst, in all honesty. But you know what? It is what it is, guys. Tell me down below your thoughts and opinions. If I'm wrong and you're like, listen, no, man, I'm telling you right now, this is a great idea. I am always happy to be proven wrong, okay? I'm always happy to be proven that, I don't know what I'm doing here, because I just don't see it. I just don't see it going through. But again, like I said, we'll have to wait and see. I'll see you guys next one. Peace out.